afternoon, good morning, good day, good evening, everybody. Whatever time you're listening to this, it is Saturday, October 6th, and you know what that means. It is time for the High Risk Wrestling Podcast. I am your host. I am the last man standing. Jeremy Pearson, welcome. As always, you can catch me out on Twitter, the 215, spelled out, Charismatic Creations on Facebook, Tumblr, and YouTube. Don't forget to check out the two new YouTube videos, the Summerslam game show and the first episode of The Filthy Casual. Soon, Charismatic Gaming will be going soon, and of course, catch me on Instagram, charismatic_creations. 52 last week. We had a late episode just because I had some technical difficulties. And we had a look at SummerSlam. SummerSlam 2022. It was a review show. Know what just happened because of the technical difficulties. And this might be something I do where maybe the Saturday pay-per-view. Well, it's on Saturday. I'm deciding. I don't know. I'm not sure just yet. We'll see. But today, part 2 of Faction Warfare, and this is a woman-centered episode. There have been some women factions out there, so we'll check them out. This all has to do with the formation of Control. But for now, you know what's next, so just go on and hit my music. Cool. So we got some news. Let's see what we got cooking. As you know, Ric Flair had his last match. He is doing just fine. Of course, he bled. It was a fun affair, and he's doing well. It was what you would expect from Flair's match. He was protected. They made sure they didn't do any really crazy spots. He called off doing some more riskier moves, but Flair's doing great. Like for example, Flair chose not to do a superplex after Jay Lethal hit him with a vertical suplex, and that was good. That was cool. As you know, Triple H is now in charge, and Stephanie. There is a strong chance that Sasha and Naomi are coming back. I'd actually say it's maybe 65% that Sasha and Naomi are coming back. We've heard so many rumors about this. I feel like they're closer to more than ever because they've even announced that starting Monday on Raw, we will have a tournament finally to decide the new women's tag team championships. And I bet you, Sasha and Naomi will end up being the winners. Becky Lynch is injured. She separated her shoulder at SummerSlam. 4 minutes into the match, she finished the match off. She popped it back in, finished the match, and she's gonna keep on grinding. She'll miss some time, probably a couple months. They did an injury angle with Control taking her out, so we'll see when she's coming back. As for another change with the WWE, they are no longer heavily scripting promos. I think they're going to follow the route that Triple H did in NXT, where we'll give you some bullet points, maybe give you a tiny script, but this is the time. Go do what you do. Make it work, and we can build from there. That is great. And sticking with creative, Vince McMahon is not missed. The constant changes, ripping up a script an hour, 2 hours before the show, the yelling, it's not missed. You're going to see a lot more cohesiveness. AEW has trademarked a new trademark for all elite women. Nothing is confirmed, but this could be the basis for a new show, TV, or streaming. We'll see. We'll see. I don't want to make any proclamations or jump out there with anything that I'm not super sure about. Raw pulled in great actually a pretty solid rating. They did 2.23 million viewers with a .61 and the 18-49 demo. That is very, very good. Raw's ratings have actually been climbing since the July 4th episode. It's been pretty good. That 2.23 is very, very solid. And sticking with WWE ratings, NXT pulled to 649,000 viewers with a .15 in the 18-49 demo. Their ratings have actually been climbing as well since the Great American Bash episode. So maybe these Triple H changes are working. Only reason I said Tina because I got Madison Rain in front of me. Well, not actually Madison Rain. Picture of Madison Rain. AEW has expanded some roles for people in the company. So Sanjay Dutt has been promoted to Vice President of Production and Creative Coordination. QT Marshall has been promoted to Vice President of Show and Creative Coordination. Pat Buck has been promoted to Vice President of Talent Development. Tony Schiavone has been promoted to Senior Producer and Special Advisor to Talent. Christopher Daniels will continue to serve as Manager of Talent Relations, and newly acquired and hired Madison Rain will join AEW as a coach in the women's division. She's been all business since she's got there. She's been on commentary for a special episode of Dark Elevation. She wrestled on Rampage. She'll be taking on Jade Cargill for the TBS Championship on Dynamite. Big pickup of Madison Rain as a veteran in this business. WWE investors are very interested in selling the company. When it comes to the grand scheme of companies, they're small, which is weird to say, but larger companies are always looking for content, live streaming, and the WWE is a natural acquisition. Dynamite saw another decline in ratings. They brought in 938,000 viewers. That is down from last week's 976,000. I'm gonna need these guys to start getting over a million again, but I think they'll get there. I mean, missing CM Punk, missing Kenny, missing Daniel Bryan for a period of time, Hurts missing Adam Cole. They'll figure it out. And lastly, Matt Cardona's in-ring return is officially announced as he'll be wrestling at NWA 74 on August 27th. So he's back. That's what's up. We'll be right back. So the Triple H regime begins. Truly begins. Did I say begins? Good Lord. Begins. And I'm not even high just yet. Started with SummerSlam, but now we got Raw. And needless to say, Raw was very, very good. It was a very wrestling heavy episode. The first hour was commercial free. That tells you the USA likes what's going on. Raw gets a thumbs up. So Becky came out with her armor sling. As you know, she is injured, and she essentially explains herself. She was driven to become champion. That's what she wanted, and she became an asshole. We'll get another apology from someone else on this show, but she calls out Bianca. They squashed their beef. They respect each other. Becky makes her exit to go heel. Bianca wants Control. Well, guess what? Control jumped Becky backstage, so that's how we write Becky out of TV for a while. Bianca goes to check on her, and we'll continue the storyline later in the show. So we had the first of two triple threat United States Championship #1 contenders matches, with the winners of the triple threat matches facing each other later in the show, and they'll face Bobby Lashley. We had a really good promo to really show that the United States Championship is important. Period. So the first one, triple threat match, was AJ Styles defeating Mustafa Ali and The Miz. Ali's on TV, y'all. This was crazy. This was So much solid action, but what you're going to remember is the ending of this match. Ali hits a 450 splash on The Miz, but in his momentum hitting the splash, rolls him up, so he's kind of doing a handstand. AJ catches him into a Styles Clash and hits it on The Miz to win the match. Crazy. It was wild. It was really, really wild. Control says they'll be making some changes. Seth gloats about taking out Riddle. The Profits come out and gloat about beating Seth and his former tag team partner, Buddy Murphy, for the Raw Tag Team Championships, and they say they want a match with Seth. They play rock, paper, scissors, but before they go 1, 2, 3, shoot, Montez Ford takes the ref and runs to the ring, and we get a match between Ford and Seth. Very, very good match. Seth Rollins wins, unless he needs to get a win back, but also this kind of helps establish that Montez Ford can be a single star. Remember when he fought Roman on SmackDown at one time? Seth was going to go beat down Montez Ford after the match, but Angela Dawkins came out and made the save, so we'll see where this continues. Alexa Bliss and Asuka's match didn't finish as Control jumped them, and Bianca says she wants a match with somebody. Control, and Io Shirai steps up. Yes. Ciampa wins the second of the 2 United States Championship member contender triple threat matches. He beat Dolph Ziggler and Chad Gable. Another fine wrestling affair. And you would think that with Triple H in charge now, Ciampa will be one of the people to truly benefit from him being in charge. Edge comes out, apologizes for pretty much being a dick, and says in the Judgment Day, the Io Sky and Bianca Belair match ends in a DQ as Control ends up brawling with Bianca, Alexa Bliss, and Asuka. I would have rather a winner, but it's fine. We know how this is going to go. Multiple singles matches, multiple tag matches, inevitably ending with probably Bayley facing Bianca for the Raw Women's Championship. Ciampa defeated AJ to become number 1 contender for the United States Championship. He won with the fairy tale ending. And in our main event, the Usos defeated the Mysterios. Judgment Day came out. They got the last laugh as Edge was going to spear, I want to say, Finn. Rhea pushed him out of the way. No, Rhea pushed Dom in front, and Edge just murdered Dominic Mysterio with the spear. So that's how Raw ended, with the Judgment Day standing tall, getting the last laugh. This was a very good episode of Raw. Very, very good episode of Raw. Rarely any complaints about it. Dynamite. We had a solid night of action and character building. This show gets a thumbs up. Jay Lethal beat Orange Cassidy as he heads towards his TNT Championship match against Wardlow at Battle of the Belts. This was a cool, solid affair. People forget that Orange Cassidy can wrestle. Jay Lethal as well. He's a veteran in this business. He knows what he's doing. This was a very good match. The Undisputed Elite showed up. They returned. Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly are still not medically clear, but they should be in time to somewhat possibly compete in the Trios tournament. But when they heard about it, Adam Cole said they didn't hear that the Young Bucks chose Bobby Fish, who is clear, as their third partner. So the Undisputed Elite are no more. Red Dragon and Adam Cole take out the Young Bucks, and before they can finish murdering them, Hangman Page comes out with a lead pipe to make the save. He helps up Matt Jackson and leaves. So there you go. There you go. The stories continue. Now we got to see where Kenny Omega. It's going to get weird because let's say Hangman and the Bucks win the championship. Where does Kenny Omega fit in all of this? Mox. We got a Mox promo. He wants the Lionheart. Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker defeated Thunder Rosa and Tony Storm in just a hard-hitting affair of a match. Always love to see Jamie Hayter on screen. Jamie and Britt won after Rebel pulled Britt out of the way. Tony was going for all of these hip attacks, and she accidentally hit Tony Storm, and then Jamie hits Tony with the short arm power clothesline lariat, whatever. So we know how this is going to go. Britt and Jamie beat Tony and Rosa, mix and match, tag match. But Tony will be facing Jamie Hayter for the championship, defending her championship at Battle of the Belts. Hobbs won a squash. Ricky tried to attack and failed. And Taz, because he's been kept out of the loop with Ricky, with Hobbs, he disbanded Team Taz. And Team Taz is no more. Christian beat Matt Hardy. There's a beautiful sign in the crowd that said, "I'll play this match on No Mercy." Jungle Boy tries to attack, but Christian escapes, and Luchasaurus is lurking or ringside. Ethan Page wants to know, why is he not on TV? Where's his merch? What's going on? Stokely Hathaway comes out and says, "Yo, I got you." No mention of Scorpio Sky, no mention of Dan Lambert. It's kind of odd. Anna Jay, full on heel, chokes out a backstage worker. The Acclaimed win the dumpster match against the Gun Club. I was surprised that this feud got blown off so quickly. I thought we would have got maybe some singles matches and then maybe in this match at All Out. And in the main event, Jericho keeps his number one contender spot as he taps out Wheeler Yuta to the Lion Tamer. Over on Impact, Deonna Purrazzo beat Rosemary, as Havoc is still causing problems for Rosemary. PCO is losing the trust of Honor No More. The Motor City Machine Guns beat Violent by Design, and Eric Young power drives Kushida. Steve Macklin and Moose take out Sami Callihan after his match, and PCO beat Doc Gallows in the main event. Over on SmackDown, was a good show, not as good as Raw, but still a good show nonetheless. Ricochet beat Baron Corbin in another match. I think this was kind of just to fill time. The Usos play around with Sammy all night. Jimmy's having fun and will keep on fucking with Sammy. Whereas Jay is silent until he explodes at the very end of the night because he doesn't want nothing to do with Sammy. Shinsuke Nakamura beat Ludwig Kaiser to earn Intercontinental Championship match against Gunther. Liv Morgan folded a little bit under pressure as the crowd chanted, "You tapped out." She admits, listen, I tapped, but only after I thought the ref counted 3, and Ronda has been suspended for her outburst. Sonya Deville comes out and says she'll win the gauntlet match and then, take out Liv and take the championship. So with our gauntlet match, Sonya Deville first faced Aaliyah. She defeated Aaliyah. And then Raquel came out and ran the table for a bit. Raquel defeated Sonya, Shotzi Blackheart, Aaliyah. She defeated Sonya, Shotzi Blackheart, Xia Li, Natalya. But then Shayna Baszler defeated Raquel to win. So Shayna is the number one contender. And she'll face Liv Morgan at Clash at the Castle. The Viking Raiders have won a squash match. Kofi attacks and he beats Eric and then escapes. And in our main event segment, Roman Reigns doesn't like Brock, but he respects Brock. So Drew comes out, says he wants Roman. And they're going to clash, but Triple H brought back this dickhead Karrion Kross who takes out Drew McIntyre. Scarlett places the hourglass on the ring, turns it over and tells Roman, "Tick-tock, his time is coming up." Anybody but Karrion Kross. Anybody but this dickhead. Over on Rampage, Jon Moxley beat Manswarner in an eliminator match. Takeshita defeated Ryan Nemeth. Madison Rayne beat Layla Gray. Jade Cargill tried to get Kiera to surprise attack Madison, but it failed. Madison will be facing Jade Cargill for the TBS Championship on at Dynamite at Quake by the Lake. No Athena or Chris Statlander, which is odd. I think what's going on, I think Madison's probably just a holdover feud so we can get maybe Chris defeating Jade at All Out. And in the main event, Swerve and Keith Lee retained their tag team championships in a street fight, defeating Tony Nese and Josh Woods. This was all over the place. This was all over the place. Just wild. Our matches of the week from Raw. Three of them things. The 2 United States number one contender matches: AJ Styles versus The Miz versus Mustafa Ali, Ciampa versus Chad Gable versus Dolph Ziggler. Also from Raw, Montez Ford versus Seth Rollins. From Dynamite, Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter versus Thunderstorm. And from Rampage, Jon Moxley versus Mance Warner. Our star of the week, I have to give it to Kaden Carter and Katana Chance for finally winning the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships. That's our weekend review, and we shall be right back. Back again with some more faction warfare. So. Last time we who do we have last time? We had the New Breed and we had Eminem. All right. I thought I was gonna go a little bit heavier with within the first episode, but that's okay. It's quite all right, but with the debut of Control at SummerSlam, thought we would do a woman focused episode, and let's start with Control. So Control, 3-woman team, Dakota Kai, Io Sky, and presumably Bayley as their leader. So what did they do? They debuted at SummerSlam after Bianca Belair defeated Becky Lynch. It was shocking. I mean, we kind of knew Bayley was probably going to come back, but the other two, boy. So Dakota Kai, you all know Dakota Kai. You should know Dakota Kai, if not from her indie years, but in NXT, she competed in the Mae Young Classic. And became a star in NXT. She is a 2-time women's tag team champion, NXT women's tag team champion, even though that ended both her reigns ended a little short, but that's okay. That's okay. What we know about Dakota Kai is she can be the face, she can be the heel, she can be lovable, she can be crazy, and she really got more popular when she teamed up with her friend Tegan Knox. They were Team Kick. They became a very, very popular team, challenging for the tag team championships, I believe once, taking on the champions at the time were the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane. So she was part of the Invasion angle and was on the Survivor Series team. She was chosen over, Mia Yim was chosen over Dakota Kai, which started Dakota's descent. She was chosen again, the War Games team. So for War Games, she turned heel, turning on Tegan Knox. She had already attacked Mia Yim beforehand, where Mia revealed that it was Dakota Kai. She was in the Royal Rumble, and now she had her heel. And it was great. It was really great. Ooh. Excuse me. Some people are just better at heels than faces, and Dakota Kai played the crazy heel very, very well. She then started a partnership, kind of a mentorship of Raquel Gonzalez, right? So she helped train her. It was kind of like a Kevin Nash, Shawn Michaels bit. But ultimately, I mean, they actually became tag team champions. And that was only after they got screwed out of the tag team championships, right? So they eventually split, and Dakota's kind of languishing. So eventually, we figured, she had to have been called up to the main roster. There were certain people that were NXT that should have just been called up at one point or another. They shouldn't be in their language. Dakota Kai, Io Shirai, Kaylee Ray should not be in Dakota said that she would not be re-signing with the company. Why would she? She's never been made women's champion. She was probably never going to get called up to the main roster. Why would she stay there? So she's gone. Fast forward to SummerSlam. Shocked that she walks out. She's a heel. Joining with Bayley, joining with excuse me, I'm sorry about that. Io Sky, formerly Shirai. Listen, to me, Io Shirai is the best women's wrestler on the planet. Period. Better than Sasha, better than Charlotte, better than Bianca, Deonna, Serena, Taya Valkyrie, Thunder Rosa, Tessa Blanchard. I think Io Shirai is the best women's wrestler on the entire fucking planet. And I never ever thought that she would be called up to the main roster. I just didn't. So, needless to say, I was extremely, extremely happy to see Io Sky debut at SummerSlam. Now, Io can be a face, she can be a heel, but all you need to know is you will get a phenomenal match out of her. We're going to skip past everything on the independent scene, her and Triple Tales, her and Lucha, Stardom. We're to go to her straight into the WWE, right? Io was in the Mae Young Classic, signed with the company, and did some things here and there. New look, new gear, new music, everything. And Io is a great fucking heel. Something just clicked. You know what I mean? Something just clicked with her. And everything Io does in the ring is flawless. And I think her in-ring ability, already high, was amplified with her becoming a heel. She was another woman who I just thought would never get called up to the main roster. She came to the WWE to wrestle on the main roster, and she finally got their call with help from Bayley, with help that Triple H is in charge, with help that Vince McMahon is no longer there. Io Shirai is a talent unlike any other and should be treated as such. You really don't understand how happy I am to see that she's on the main roster, and I expect her and Dakota to do big things as long as they are, I'm not going to say as long as they are aligned, but to do big things while they are aligned with Bayley. And speaking of Bayley, do we really need to go over Bayley's already incredible career? She's a Grand Slam champion. She was top white meat babyface and then became an incredible annoying heel. Ding dong, hello. Helped carry the WWE during the pandemic and his return from injury. they are going to do great things together. Period. It's great to have Bayley back. Period. And Bayley has even stated that she believes that Mayu Iwatani, Kairi Hojo, who you all know as Kairi Sane, and her new teammate, Io Sky, 3 of the best wrestlers on the planet, between the men and the women. All right? So she's aligned herself with 2 great competitors. Period. I expect Control to inevitably become tag team champions and women's champion. That's what I expect. This is going to be a crazy, fun ride. All right. So let's get it. No, I'm sorry, it wasn't Bayley, the CEO, and Kairi and Mayu are the best women wrestlers. It was Meltzer. Sorry, but you can follow on Bayley because Bayley definitely thinks that EO is one of the best women's wrestlers on the planet. Do you guys remember a faction by the name of PMS? And I know what you thinking of when you think PMS. But no, it's not that PMS. It is the Pretty Mean Sisters. Female stable consisted of Tara Reynolds, Jacqueline, and Ryan Shamrock. They weren't the best. So let's just let's do this quickly, okay? PMS founded after Jacqueline and Mark Merrow separated on an episode of Sunday Night Heat. So Jacqueline formed a new stable, PMS, the Pretty Mean Sisters. Now, why? Well, Terry separated from Goldust, and Ryan Shamrock was just there. Just there. Okay. This was Attitude Era, all Vince Russo. All Vince Russo. So Terry, at one point, Terry claimed to be pregnant with Val Venus's baby. Then they formed an alliance with D'Lo and Mark Henry because they couldn't wrestle, so they got other men to wrestle for them. Then Terry said she had a miscarriage. D'Lo became a servant of PMS, and they had a love slave, and Meat, aka Sean Stasiak. It was such a random, it's so funny. It could be done today, not with the name PMS, but a faction of women scorned. It could work, but PMS did not have a lasting impression in the WWF. They just did. The women have left some. Like Jacqueline's a legend. Terry's kind of a legend. Ryan Shamrock went over to WCW, became Symphony, whatever. But PMS, they won't stand the test of time. And lastly, we shall end with the Riot Squad. So at this time when the Riot Squad debuted, there were a few call-ups. So on Raw was the Iconics. SmackDown, the Riot Squad, they would cause just craziness. The Riot Squad were heels. People forget that. Like, even though Liv Morgan is super over as a babyface, she started out as a heel. Like, let that sink in. The Riot Squad consisted of Ruby Riott, Liv Morgan, and Sarah Logan. Sarah Logan was always my favorite in the Riot Squad. And they just debuted. They were there to cause havoc. And they made their in-ring debut defeating Charlotte, Natalya, and Naomi. It's a good team to defeat. Former women's champions. Riot Squad competed in the Royal Rumble. Obviously didn't win. And so the first thing was we had to get them over. Never really worked in the beginning. With the Riot Squad. Ruby challenged Charlotte for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Failed. They competed at WrestleMania. Failed. Then they got drafted to Raw. And they attacked Bayley and Sasha. Ruby defeated Sasha. Yes, defeated Bayley on the Backlash kickoff. Ruby competed in money. We knew where we wanted to push Ruby. Ruby competed in Money in the Bank, but then got injured. So it was down to Liv and Sarah Logan hold it down. Now, during all of this, it was all about kind of elevating them, and they never really got elevated. They began a feud with the Bellas, who for some reason were aligned with Ronda Rousey. Riot Squad lost. They fought at Evolution. Riot Squad lost. You see where I'm getting with this? You have to make things all equal and fair. And it just never really clicked with them. Ruby got hurt a lot. They were split in this superstar shakeup, and you knew for a fact that what was going to happen was somebody was going to be the outcome now, and that was Sarah Logan. I loved Sarah Logan. She was kind of the powerhouse of the group, and rarely did she ever get her true time to shine. So they were split up. Ruby ended up feuding with Liv. For some reason, and Sarah Logan was the special guest referee. It just, things didn't make sense. Things never really just came together for the Riot Squad. Like, Ruby turned on Liv for what reason? Like, Vince McMahon loved breaking up teams, loved breaking up stables. That was his thing. He puts teams together just to break them apart. And here we are with the Riot Squad being no more. Sarah Logan's pretty much semi-retired. Ruby Riott is now in AEW. And Liv Morgan is your SmackDown Women's Champion, being in the WWE for 8 years, starting in NXT. Remember, she started in NXT, Liv Morgan, as Enzo and Cass's hairstylist, I believe. No, that was Carmella. Liv did something in NXT. But here we are, the Riot Squad apart. This could have been a bona fide, kind of really the first real true women's faction to get shit done. You had the women's championship there. You had tag team championships there, and it was there for the taking for the Riot Squad, and it just never came together. And that's not on them because they are fine competitors. Mic work, and Ruby could have done all the talking for them. But what I'm more so upset about the Riot Squad is that Sarah Logan really never got time to shine, with the exception of when she was in the Mae Young Classic. I fell in love with Sarah Logan. Great, just solid look, approach, ring skill. We know Ruby. We know Ruby's the best of the bunch, but she was always going to succeed no matter where she was, because she was already on the indie. She had made a name for herself before the WWE. She was going to make a name for herself after the WWE. And Liv Morgan was always the golden child, the chosen one. So Sarah, for me, never getting a time to shine was kind of the biggest hurt piece. And you can see when Sarah Logan was in the Royal Rumble, and Liv saw her backstage, you see that Liv was happy because she missed her friend. And this was at a time when the WWE were going through some turmoil. They still are some turmoil, but they were releasing everybody. I just really wanted Sarah Logan to get more of a time to shine, and I'm hoping to see her back in the ring one day. But that's it, y'all, for part 2 of Faction Warfare. So we had Control, which I'm hoping gets time to really, really shine and dominate. I would not be opposed to them becoming the women's tag team champions and kind of freebirding it, and then until Bayley eventually gets the Raw Women's Championship. PMS, the less said, the better. The Riot Squad, pull one out for them. But that's that. That's it. Thank you all, as usual. Next week, we'll be looking at a new series, The Comeback. Wrestlers that have left companies and that have returned, either for the better or for the worse. As always, check me out on socials. Charismatic Creations on Facebook, Tumblr, and YouTube. Charismatic Cards, soon to be Charismatic Gaming on YouTube. The 215 on Twitter, and Charismatic_Creations52 on Instagram. And as always, Xia Li, Wendy Chu, and Gigi Dolan. Holla at your boy. Peace.